time for the morning weigh-in. I was under my calories yesterday, but the day before I was severely under, so I might have gained some of the weight back. We're going to find out. And I am still on my period, so that tends to gain a little bit from water retention. Oh, nope, we're good. We are at 97.2. I can't remember what yesterday's was. I know it was 97.4 when I did my naked weigh-in. Y'all didn't see that. So yeah, that makes sense. 97.2. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, here is my outfit for the day. I got my new pants I just got yesterday. They're all cute and wintry. And then I've got this sweater. So this is a what they call 0X in plus size at Maurice's, and then this is a 4X. So it's baggy, but I needed the length. The two fit, but I was like, I want to be more comfortable and have this long enough to cover the apron belly, because that's a problem. Anyway, so I'm going to be in the Christmas parade today as part of the VFW float. So I've got to go help finish decorating the float, and then we're going to have the parade this afternoon or evening rather. And then there's like a chili dinner afterward, but I don't like tomatoes or the texture of beans. I like refried beans, but I don't like the texture of regular beans. So I'm not going to eat that. So I'll probably just come home after the parade. But anyway, here is my little spinning. So beep, beep. And then I always do this, but apron belly falls out. And then, whoa. I was telling one person when I went in to go get new pants, I was like, I always tell my friends, I'd be like, I'm skinny from the back, regular from the side. Anyway, I already fed the bear. My hair's all curly because I slept in a ponytail bun last night, so I got a little curls in there. Beep, beep, beep. I need to find, well, I was going to say I need to find like a winter hat to wear, but actually we are doing the theme for the Christmas is like past, present, future. So I was like, we can just wear our Christmas stuff and then we can wear our hats because we all were in different wars. Why is this tight? I need to fix that. But anyway, yeah. So mine, I was in from 2008 to 2012. So I'm a Gulf War vet because they extended that, but also Iraqi freedom and a couple other campaigns that we did because we were in active wars when I was in. So anyway, I need to go eat quickly, and then I got to be there at 10 to help set up the float. And I think my doggy wants to go outside again. So, but yeah, I got to better fix my hair in this hat. I look like a trucker. 10-4. I was behind on dishes and low on time, so I came to a breakfast place. I got 2 fried eggs over easy, a couple strips of bacon, and then 2 pieces of buttered toast. Been back from doing the float stuff for a while. I gotta go again and do more float stuff in like 2.5 hours, or 2 hours rather. But anyway, I wanted a little snack because I'm getting a little hungry, but I don't want to fix a meal yet. I want to fix a meal closer to when I gotta leave again. But anyway, so I'm gonna have 2 of these, which is a serving size. It's 140 calories. So I'm just gonna get my 2 and then put them away. But unless I eat 4, but if I eat 4, I'll check them. If I eat more than 2, you'll see it on the tracker. But anyway, I am playing my Wingspan game and watching YouTube videos. So I'm just kind of chilling for now. And then I got to go do more float stuff, and then there will be the actual Christmas parade that I'll be in. So here's dinner. 2 hot dogs plain, and then some fries, cheese, baked bits, and then crime. More candy falling out. Oof. Merry Christmas. Hey, you're welcome. Candy reload. I'm aiming for you. Or the cool float. See, we're the cool float. That actually was a cool picture. We just finished. We were one of the first ones, and I bought this for me before we got here, so I'm gonna have it. I gave out all my candy. I didn't save any. So I'm back from the Christmas parade. It didn't take that long, but it was cold, and I still have on my leggings that I put on under the sweatpants so that I wouldn't freeze to death. But anyway, I just read another chapter of Heart for Christmas. One of y'all did comment that you wanted me to do the thing where I talk about every chapter, but I am already 6 chapters in, so I'm just going to quickly sum up what the story is about so far. Quickly. I know not everyone's here for the reading, but then the majority of my subscribers are here for the reading and probably haven't been watching any of the weight loss stuff. If y'all don't know, I have like 300 videos on here that are all about books. So there's lots of content if you like the bookish sides of things. But anyway, so this book, she goes to her dad's. Her parents are divorced, and she's going to spend like a part of a break with him for like 3 weeks or something like that. He lives in a mountain town that has like ski resorts, and her best friend grew up there and has a brother, and that brother is now one of the like the youngest ski instructor guys that has like an actual certification. And her dad is like a ski slopes dude, and he like knows where the best routes are and all this kind of stuff, and I guess he knows things about like weather and all that because he like picks what places are going to be safe, and I don't know, but anyway, so that's how he kind of comes back into her life, because he comes over to her dad's house to get one of those like new updated plans or maps, whatever. And so obviously he's going to be the love interest, like obviously. But also this one is cool because it says Heart for Christmas, and then on the back it says 1 month to make my heart beat. And this main girl has a heart condition, and she's had a heart transplant 2 years previous. So people are encouraging her to like live a little because she's been playing it safe a lot. And so he's been encouraging her to like, you know, get back to skiing and everything. Like her heart can take it because she has a new heart now. But her mom is very overprotective, so she's like balancing not trying to like anger her mom or make her mom worry, but also like kind of do what her dad and Augustin, or Augustin, however you want to say it, the love interest, are wanting her to like live a little. So she's starting to try to do that. She just went with Augustin, the love interest dude. She just went with him on a little ski thing with some kids. So it was one of the easier slopes. And so she did well, but then the kids were having a lunch break, and one of the kids broke off and started running towards the woods. So she had to run to try to catch up with the girl because she knew that there was a cliffside ahead. And so if she didn't stop the girl would die. And so she like barely catches this girl. Like the girl stops, but then the snow starts to break away and like slide. So then like she's running, and then the girl's trying to get back to her. She like snatches her by the hood of her coat and drags her back. And then the girl's like had a hat on, like I guess like a little beanie or whatever under her coat, and that fell off. And she said it was like a 60-foot drop. So yeah, so she saved the kid's life. So her best friend is the love interest sister, and so she'll be like teasing or saying things about the brother, and the other one's like, I kind of like spending time with him, but I don't think I should tell her this. And I'm like, yep. So yeah, that's like the first 6 chapters. So I guess if y'all want, I can continue updating you as I go, but there will be spoils if I do that. So yeah, this is the book if you want to go get your own. It is an Advent romance. So you open 1 chapter every day. You literally have to open it. Like you see how these are sealed? So like the whole chapter is sealed. So like this is chapter 24 that I get to do on Christmas Eve. So, and it's just perforated, so you just stick your finger in the middle and then open it. So I'm having to teach myself delayed gratification with this book. I like to binge books. I like to read 50-page chunks at a time. I like to really sink into it. And I'm only getting a couple pages at a time. Yeah. So I read multiple books at once, luckily. So I've got that going. And then I'm reading a paranormal book, which I've already showed y'all in a previous video. But I don't have it in here, so you'll probably see it later if I mention it. A lot of times I just do my reading in bed at night after the vlog's done. I did finish the one book that I was talking about the other day that I only had a little bit left of. I finished that. I finished a couple books since I started these vlogs. I need to put them on my story graph because I'm starting to lose track of what I've read and how much I've read. I don't know. The app like disappeared from my phone. I'm like, I did not delete that app. Where did it go? Same thing happened with Book of the Month Club. It had disappeared off my phone, and I was like, I did not delete that app, and I have 2 credits. So I have Book of the Month coming at some point. I think I'm supposed to get it on the 6th. Isn't today the 6th? Or the 6th maybe was when they were going to ship it. So I'll probably get it tomorrow or the next day then. But anyway, I love books. Yeah, so I've been reading this. My phone was at literally 1% when I was at the end of the parade. So I had to plug it up on the charger, which is why I'm laying in bed. My back has been hurting since yesterday. It's not like any sharp pains or anything. It's more like if your whole entire back had a bruise. And just so you were like constantly aware of the bruise, and then when it would touch things, you would feel it more. Yeah, it's just like I have this giant bruise, which I did have chiropractic like 3 times this week, so I think that's part of it. And then all the lifting weights and stuff makes me sore, so I don't know. But anyway, I did edit yesterday's video already. It was not rendered before I left, but it definitely should be rendered now. So I'm gonna go upload that one for y'all, and then I might come back in here and read a little. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to try not to eat anything else tonight because I am at 22, I'm at like 2,200 calories, which is 200 over my calories. However, I was under my calories by like 300 yesterday, and then the day before that I was under by 800. So for my weekly calorie budget, I'm still very under. So that's why I was like this morning when I did not have all my dishes done, and I was like, I'm running out of time too. It's going to be faster for me to just go ahead and be ready and not have to stress and get closer to where I'm going and then just have them make me breakfast. So I did that. But, yep. So, I might do a wet mile tomorrow, and that might help some of the, like, soreness in my back. It might help me loosen up and take some tension off my spine, especially if I do it with, like, the noodle, and I'm having the noodle, like, hold my weight up just to get some pressure off of that. So I might try that, but it can't be in the morning because the gym won't be open in the morning. It won't open until the afternoon because it's Sunday, so people go to church. So they open later. But anyway, I'm gonna go do that because I'm rambling. But yeah, I was like, I'm gonna treat myself to this little Reese's cup. I went to Reese's cup. I handed out I threw out all that candy. I did not take a single piece. So I had purchased my one little Reese's cup. So when the parade was done and we were still riding on the trailer and making our way back to the VFW, I ate my Reese's and I savor that sucker. It took me like a good 5 minutes to eat that one Reese's. And that's how you should treat sweets. They should take you a while to eat a little one. It was not little though. It was like huge. It didn't look as big in the package, but when you take it out and you're like, this sucker's thick. Thick. Very, very yummy. Highly recommend. But it is 200 calories, so only have one. Anyway. Okay, so I had 2 bags of these earlier. I went ahead and logged it. They're 100 calories each. This is definitely a processed food. I got it at the store before the parade, so that I would have something that wasn't like a 500 calorie, but then I did wind up eating the fries, and I will tell you that I think the fries is what made me had bathroom issues a minute ago. So because I haven't really been having any fried foods for the most part, and I think the fries might have been fried. They were like, they weren't restaurant fries. It was like a caterer type person comes in and like cooks the dishes there. So like everything had crock pots and stuff. So I don't know. But anyway, I got these and I had them for like a late snack because I didn't need another meal. So I am going to go to bed probably within the next like hour or so. But I am feeling very thirsty. I did finish off my hydration drink, so that was good. But I am parched, and I don't know if I've got a cold water in the fridge or not. I've been just drinking them room temperature, but I threw some in here a while back, and I think my husband might have shoved them further back in the fridge where I can't see them. So I'm like, do we have one hidden? Oh, we do. Oh. Oh my goodness. Yeah, there's nothing like a nice cold water. So I am going to go lay down. My oven is saying it's 9:51. I don't know that that's true. I don't know what time it is. Alexa says it is 9:52. So anyway, I'm going to drink this, a bunch of it. Probably going to drink like half of it in one go, like that's how thirsty I am. And then I'm going to lay down and read some more of this, The Twisted Dead. Like I said, I like to read little chunks, so I've been reading it at night. So this is like my current physical book that I'm reading other than the Advent one. It's really good, but it is the third book in a series, so I can't really tell you anything about it. She's trying to figure, I guess I can tell you this, she's trying to figure out how to like send these spirits to the afterlife or whatever, but the ones that she's trying to send don't want to go. And they've been feeding on like the essence or whatever of this other character, and it's like all his family members for centuries, and they've just all been feeding on him because he's the last living relative. So she's trying to figure out how to send them back, but there's like 100 of them that have not passed on, and it's because like they're attached to their wealth and their status from being part of that legacy, and like that's why she thinks maybe they're not wanting to move on. So she's practicing on this other spirit in the graveyard who does want to go ahead and pass on, but she asked him if he would be willing to stay a little bit longer for her to practice, seeing if she could unravel like an unwilling vessel. And so he like nodded yes and everything, and she's been trying different techniques, and her friends have been researching stuff. There's also like an overarching plot line for the whole series. There's this sort of like organization that's after her, and she doesn't know why, and she also doesn't have any memories from when she was running in the forest, but she doesn't know who she's running from. Like that's how the series opens, and then you get a little more information in like book 2, but we still don't know. So, and they haven't appeared anywhere in this book yet. So I don't know if we'll get a little bit more about that in here or not. The 4th book is already out, and I do have it. So I'm excited about that. I don't know if it'll be the end of the series with the 4th book or not, so I'll have to look into it. But right now I'm just enjoying book 3. So this is going to be my nighttime read. I am done eating today. I did go 400 calories over, but I'm not concerned about that because I've been losing a lot of weight, probably a little too rapidly. But it is the beginning of locking in, so I figure the first month is probably when you will lose the most, and then it'll kind of balance out after that. My nutritionist said, like, don't worry about it unless you're losing like 5 pounds every single week. Then that can be too much weight loss. I did do a thing on the board behind me, if you can see it, where I broke down the weeks, and you would be interested with the data probably, because this is probably not what you would think. So during week 1, and that's week 1 of me making these vlogs. I got a very messy desk, by the way. You might have just saw glimpses of plates that I need to put up. But I have a lot of house cleaning that needs to be done. So that's the mission for tomorrow. But right now it's just like, yeah, Slob City in here. But anyway, so week 1, I lost 4.8 pounds. And most of that was honestly from day 1 to day 2. I have also, because data and realistic weight loss, y'all have seen my daily weigh-ins, but I also have a little calendar, and I started back on it, and I wrote down what those daily weigh-ins were so that I could actually see them. It's not like I'm going to remember them from memory. So let's make sure I didn't have anything on here crazy. No, I don't. Okay, so you can see what my morning weight was for each day. So from here to here, well, if I can hold it. I'm just holding on my stomach. So like from here to here, I lost 3 pounds overnight. What I think was happening is I was holding on to water this day, and I just happened to be heavier. Because I think, yeah, so because the day that I had been at 306 and maintaining that for a while with the bodybuilding stuff. And then when I went and got my colonoscopy, which was shortly before this, it was in like October, I think. When I got the colonoscopy, I was 304 pounds. So I don't think that I lost like 3 pounds overnight in fat. I think it was just me holding on to water weight. So my starting weight was probably more like the 304.6. But regardless, I still was that heavy at one point. So I put it on here. That was my day one. That was what I weighed in as. And then on here it went up 0.3, so I gained weight. And then here it went down 1.3 pounds. So stuff doesn't make sense sometimes. 1.3 pounds, and then went down 0.4, and then went up 0.4. I'm just showing you realistic weight loss. Up 0.4, and then here it was 303.4, down 0.2. And then the next day was 302.9, so that was down 0.5 pounds overnight. So that added up to the 4.8 pounds for week 1. Now, the other thing that I thought was interesting was to look at what calories I was having for each week. So and I track everything in the app. So for that week, I had on average 2,045 calories per day, which is about that's like basically the goal now, because the nutritionist said 2022. So yeah, that's pretty much that. So I lost almost 5 pounds that first week. But like I said, I think 3 of that was probably just water weight that released, which would make sense, because then that would be like 1.8 pounds for the week, which if you actually use the deficit and like add it up with the 3,500 calories being a pound, then it would be like 1.8 pounds per week, not an actual true 2 pounds a week. So that makes sense. Now the next week you would be shocked. And this is why I wanted to do the daily thing too, because people don't understand that you can be doing all the right things and you can gain weight. Okay, so I'm just going to show you. So for week 2, I'm holding it here, but I'm just going to read it to you. But like, you can see if you want to pause and like physically see the page, but I'm just going to read it to you and show you what's going on. All right, so for week 2, we had went from 302.9 to 302.8, so we lost 0.1. And then the next day it went all the way back up to 304.1. It went up a bunch. So that was 1.3 pounds, I think. 1.3 pounds went up overnight. But then the next day I dropped 0.6 pounds. And then the next day I dropped 0.9 pounds. And then the next day it was 0.1. And then the next day it was the same exact weight. And then the next day it shot up by 0.6. Okay. Now, my calories that I had on average for the entire week, like when you average it out by day, was 1,984. So I was below my recommended amount to lose 2 pounds. And as a reminder, my start number was 302.9 and my end number for that week was 303.1. So I gained 0.2 pounds. I gained 0.2 pounds during that week, and I was eating at an over 1,000 calorie deficit per day. Okay, so you can be doing everything right, and your body is just like, nope, we're gonna hold on to this. We're gonna hold on to this. Now, another thing to take into account is that if your activity level changes, then the amount that your body is burning per day also changes. So that's going to affect how much your body burns, and then so your deficit would need to be even larger to have any sort of effect. So then I was like, well, what happened that week that could possibly explain the weight gain, considering that I was under 2,000 calories a day, so more than 1,000 calorie deficit per day? What could explain this? Well, I believe it was that very Monday, and actually I have a calendar so I can find out, because I sprained my ankle at the homemakers meeting. So I have that in the schedule, and let's just see. I know it was on a Monday, so let's see if it was the 17th. Do I recall this correctly? So let's see, 17th. It was. So on the first day of that week, I sprained my ankle. So what does that mean? Well, for one, there was when you have an injury, your body has like an inflammation response while it's healing. My ankle still has not gone all the way down. Like, we still have some swelling. So that could have been part of it. Like inflammation could be making my body hold on to a little bit more water. I also could have had a more salty diet that week. So even though it was super low calorie, if I had a bunch of salt, then that might have caused me to retain water as well. And then the third and most important factor, the one that I think is actually the cause of the weight gain during that week, is that I had bed rest for like 3 days where my husband was basically waiting on me hand and foot, bringing me my ice pack, adjusting the ice pack for me, and I laid in bed. Okay. So I was basically in coma mode. I was in coma mode. So my body only required the amount of calories to sustain me, which I think is probably around like 1800 something. So that would have put me at a slight surplus, which would explain the 0.5 pounds gained. Okay. So then the next week, we had yet to return to our regular everyday level of activity because I still had the ankle swelling. I was not able to do my hardcore workouts. I did return to the gym though, so there was some more activity than the previous week. I also, here's the crazy part. Okay, so the activity went up a little bit, but here's the crazy part, okay? Okay, so I lost 2.5 pounds during this particular week, and I was eating, are you ready? I was eating 2,485 calories a day on average. This is when I had the understanding myself, oh, I think that, this is the deficit that I need, because sometimes if the deficit is too big, I've literally gained weight and my body like wants, because it's holding on to everything. It's like that starvation mode. Like eventually it will come out of it if you're consistent, but it can be very annoying if you're like, I am eating at a deficit and my body is not letting it go. It's because your body doesn't want you to lose weight. It's comfortable where it's at, even if it's not actually healthy to be that way. So so yeah, I ate more and dropped weight. So this is another reason why it's like I am not concerned if I have 1 or 2 days during the week where I am eating higher than the 2,000 calories. Even if I got up to 3,000 calories one day, it is not going to matter that much in the grand scheme of things. Because some days I'm like the goal is to stay under the 2,000, but to be right at the 2,000. Like I want to be hitting 2,000 each time. I want to get as close as I can to that number because I don't want to be under eating. Because if you undereat a lot, then it's probably going to lead to overeating because you're just going to be ravenous. Your body's like, I need some food. You're just going to keep eating and eating and eating and eating and eating. I went over a little bit today, not by much, but the previous 2 days I had underate. The day before yesterday, severely, severely underate. 1,200 calories, I feel like, is what a 5-year-old needs, not someone that is 5'10". Okay, no. That's not enough. That is not enough. Even at my health, like once I get to my goal weight, I've kind of checked it, and I think it's like 1,900 calories a day to maintain that, and I am more than 100 pounds away from that weight. So yeah, um, when I go on vacation, I might just try to maintain, or not necessarily maintain, but I might go with the more like the 2,500 a day, just because it's going to be harder for me to find good options and plan my meals because I'm not going to have a kitchen to cook in. So I want to be realistic, and it's going to be very difficult to stay under 2,000. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to try to, but I'm going to give myself a little bit of grace. So if it winds up being that my average is more like the 2,500, that's fine. I'll still wind up losing weight. Like I said, during that particular week, I lost 2.5 pounds. And I do plan on using the gym. And I believe they also have an indoor pool. So I can still definitely get in some exercise, and I do plan to, because I'm not going to want to be out the whole time during the vacation. I'm going to enjoy some time in the actual hotel. I never do that when I go on vacation. I'm always like, go, 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 plan everything. But it's going to be Pittsburgh, and it's going to be 40 degrees outside as the high for that week, like historically. So yeah, I'm not going to want to be freezing my butt off. I'd rather be in a heated indoor pool, getting some exercise in, or maybe listening to an audiobook. So I'll try to increase the daily activity level, but with that I will probably also increase the calorie intake. I want to enjoy myself on my vacation. I want to be able to like go try out like a bakery or whatever and have a 500 calorie cinnamon roll. Um, but still not trying to go over what I need. So basically every day still needs to be under the maintenance, which I think for me is around 3,300 calories to stay my current size. But I'll lose weight between now and January anyway. I've still got the whole rest of the month to go. So Anyway, so week 3 was 2.5 pounds, the average of 2,500 calories. This week is yet to be over. We still have one more day left, and we will find out what the result of that is going to be. But I will tell you, so week 3, got to flip to the new page. So week 3, I believe, is when I finally got to meet with the nutritionist, and I asked about the calorie amount, and she said the 2,000 was good. Yes, so week 4 started on the 8th of December. I thought, what? Did I write this down funky? No, I think I wrote down week 3 on here twice for some reason. Oh, yes, it's just, okay, I see. I put the week number on the final day, so I would know that that was the day to use. So anyway, so week 3, I started at 300.6 pounds, and today I was at 297.2, so that is 3.4 pounds down. And I can tell you that my average calories will be either at 2,000 calories or a little bit below, because I did have that really, really big deficit day. But I might have made up with that with the eggnog and little chocolates that I had today that I showed y'all. I didn't have eggnog today, but I did the other day. So I think it'll all balance out. The reason why we're not wanting to lose, I say we're, but some of y'all might be on the same journey with me. The reason we're not wanting to lose like 5 pounds a week is because when you lose that amount, your body is not keeping up with it. So one, it's going to lead to having like loose skin, because your body's not going to be able to snap back and keep up with you that quickly. And then, so we don't want rapid weight loss for that reason. But also it can lead to your body going after your muscle mass instead of your fat. So we don't want that to happen, because if it goes after your muscle mass, you're going to become weaker. But not only are you going to become weaker, then whenever you do lose all your weight, you're going to look all saggy and baggy and have all this extra loose skin everywhere. I do not want that. I do not want to have surgeries. So I would rather do this slow and have everything snap back with me. That's what I want. So if that requires me at some point, my nutritionist says, hey, you need to be eating 2,500 calories, then I'll go up to eating 2,500 calories. I'm gonna listen to my healthcare professional and my trainer. But anyway, it's good to have the actual data, because like I didn't know that the previous week that my average was 2,500, because there were days where it was lower than 2,000, so it just wound up like averaging out. Yeah, I just did that the other day. So yeah, we have one more day left, but we can't actually know the full total weight change until Monday the 8th, because it'll go, the last number, the one that I'll minus, will be the one on the 8th, because basically it goes from like day 1 of the week to day 2. That's your first number. So yeah, so it'll be 2 more days before we know the final results. But I will know that morning first thing. So it's not like the day of eating that counts, it's just the morning weigh-in that counts for me calculating that. So we'll find out. We will find out. But yeah, 3.4 pounds. Pretty dang good. And I got 2 days left. I did go over today. I only went over by 400 calories. And like I said, yesterday I was under by like 200 or 300, something like that. And then the day before it was 800. I would guess I'll still be at a deficit. But I don't know how much we're going to see of a scale change tomorrow. I don't think we're going to see a like half pound down like we've been seeing on some of these days when I'm doing the 2,000 calories. It's possible. I don't know. Like, you really can't predict it. And then the other thing is that I am on my cycle, which should have led to some weight gain. And it did on the first, it did right before I started my cycle. I went up a little bit. So, let's see. Yeah. I went from 299.5, and then the next day I went up 0.7, and then I went up 0.3. And then I had the day where I underate significantly, and then that's when it dropped down to the 298.2. So if I had not had that extreme day, I think we would have seen the period gain kind of continue, but I think that because I had that really low day, it wound up balancing out the numbers, to not make it look like I gained weight, but I am holding on to water. You just get all puffy and everything when you're on your cycle. But this is still cold, but it's not going to be cold for much longer. So I am going to end this little vlog. This was a long little talky section here, but I am going to end this. Y'all let me know in the comments. I was like combos is what I was. Y'all let me know in the comments. Do you like the vlogs being longer? I worry that sometimes they're too long or like I ramble a bunch. Do y'all like these sections where I kind of ramble, stream of thought, telling you whatever I'm thinking and going through my head, but it's not like me actively doing something or showing you something that I'm doing? Like, do you actually like the rambles? I would like to know so that when I'm editing, I know whether to like be like, girl, you talk too much and cut the stuff out, or if y'all like it, I'd be like, no, you're good, keep it in. I don't have to double speed it in the editing. It's fine. Let me know. All right, I'm getting my butt in bed because it is past 10. I will probably sleep in until like 9 in the morning, because the gym's not going to open until I think 1. I do need to do some cleaning because my mother-in-law's coming tomorrow and the house is a wreck. I'm not too worried about my office other than the dishes that I need to put away. Mostly just the living room and the kitchen. I have a couple rounds of dishes to do, and I've got all the shopping hauls and Christmas gifts taking up the entire living room, so I need to clean that up. So yeah, y'all will probably see me with my record player and listening to some records tomorrow while I get the cleaning done. I'm not looking forward to that. And then other than that, if I have enough energy, I want to get to the gym and do some wet miles. But if I don't have the energy because I'm burning all of them calories cleaning for hours on end, then that will just be my exercise for the day. All right. Good night. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell if you want to know when my next video pops up. I'm editing these as I go. Sometimes there'll be some gaps, like a couple days gap in between because I just don't have the mental energy to do it, or I'm super busy, so there's just not a lot of time window for me to edit the video. But they will eventually drop, so you are getting daily vlogs. I'm just not necessarily posting them every day. They'll cover every day, and they will be daily individual vlogs, but you might get 3 in a row one day. I've done that a couple times already. But anyway, thanks for watching and all your support, and I will see y'all in the next video. Go drink some water. I'm going to.